Our second guest for today is the president of OCTA Research, Professor Ranjit Rye. Sir, magandang hapon and welcome back to Storycon.
Hi,
Hi,
good afternoon po.
Professor.
Happy
Hapon,
holidays
Prof.
to all.
Yeah, thank you for joining us, sir. Sir, I'm looking at your survey results right now, and yun nga, si Bongo is number 4, pero si Bato is all the way down sa I think number 16 thereabouts. I know this is a range nga, pero medyo mababa si Bato. I'm wondering lang yung bangayan ng dalawang kampo, yung Duterte versus Marcos, how does this factor or how much of it factors into dito sa pag-select ng mga respondents dun sa kung sino kanilang napipisil na magsenador?
I think that this factors into the decision making also of the everyday voter for their as far as their preference is concerned, whether they're pro Marcos or pro Duterte, and it's possible that the political noise that we're experiencing now, the fight between the two camps have also affected Senator Bato's ratings, at least as far as our survey is concerned. And I haven't seen the other surveys. I just was listening to Ronald Holmes, no, from Pulse just now. But my view is, as a political scientist looking at things from that perspective, I think it's a political noise, competition, and there's a lot of negative information and misinformation being bandied around in news and in the social media against those who are aligned with the Duterte camp. So maybe that has affected to some extent, no, the numbers, the preference for Senator Bato de la Rosa, who, by the way, still has within the
Second distance.
of statistically possible winners if the elections were held during the period of the survey, which is November 10 to 16.
But I also have to note, si Senator Bato kasi has been very, very vocal in the defense of both the former president and VP Sara Duterte. So, I don't know
Possible, very possible, yeah. But you can't make
versus,
that
for example,
conclusion
Bongo.
because Senator Bongo is right up there. So that's a speculation that can't be supported by any data right now. No, it's possible, but Senator Bongo is also a big defender of the former administration, and he's doing very well in the survey.
Pero parang
it's
iba
very
yung...
possible na mas vocal kasi si Senator Bato. He's been
Yes.
seen.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Very, very vocal, especially sa hearings.
Yeah. Sa hearings, he's been
Halimbawa,
very
itong
vocal
huling,
in his position.
Sa Senate.
itong huling statement ni Senator Bongo tungkol dito sa Quadcom report. Parang ang main na banat na lang niya ay, bakit ako? parang ibang-iba dun sa banat ni
Bato.
Senator Bato.
Na bakit sila?
Oo. Kaya kitang-kita mo yung tono, magkaiba. No? Pero, Prof, yung significant kasi dun sa ratings ni Senator Bato ay yung movement ng kanyang numbers ay talagang dramatically pababa. No?
Yeah,
Pababa,
I think that's the more important insight.
Yes.
It's not really the actual numbers. And I suggest, guys, you don't look at the rankings, no, kasi it will be different among survey companies depending on the total number of people they surveyed. Ideally, what's important to insight is that this is the first survey. You can throw away all the other surveys in the past. This is the first survey where we have official names. So
Yes.
basically, treat this as the baseline.
Yes.
This is the start. These are the official names based on the COMELEC, and this is how it falls as far as our survey is concerned. So, but that being said, if you look at the long view, Senator Bato's percentage, which is where we should be looking at, yung percentage voting for, significant yung change over time sa kanya, and that trend is going down. But will this be permanent? No, I don't think so. Wala pa yung campaign eh. So
Yes.
magkakampanya pa yan. And remember, no, if you look at our other surveys on political preference, they're about 15 to 20% of the country are pro Duterte solidly. So, once the campaign starts, this will shift, no? And we have to understand that the base of support of the Dutertes are in Mindanao, and everybody needs a vote in Mindanao. So imagine if the Dutertes jump the administration, you can see that these numbers will change dramatically.
How about...
We cannot take this as gospel truth because this will change over time. And
Yes.
the dynamics in this particular midterm contest is very, highly contested and very polarizing. So these numbers will definitely change.
Yes. Pero ang purpose
Pero
kasi
Senator,
nito,
yung ano, yung napakalaking, medyo malaking disparity ni Bongo and Senator Bato de la Rosa, and both of them were implicated in the drug war. Yung mga, in
Yeah.
fact, paymaster daw si Bongo nung ano, yung quota and reward system. Bakit parang Teflon yata siya? May factor ba doon yung involvement niya sa malasakit? Kasi I asked this kanina din kay Professor Holmes na ano yung common denominator ng mga top 12 na yan? Meron bang impact yun na si Bongo masyadong active dun sa malasakit, tutulungan ko kayo. Di ba yan yung appeal ng mga Tulfo brothers
Yeah, I think the general perspective, at least from our point of view, is that awareness is important. Performance is important. In the case of Senator Bongo, consistently in our survey for almost a year, he's kept the numbers relatively stable with very little changes. No? And especially now on this first pre-election survey where we have the official list, he's doing much better than we expected, at least given all the negative information. And it has to do really with also the work is done with malasakit centers, which are located all over the country and has served quite a number of of our citizens, no, in the past administration, even today. So maybe that has also helped to a great extent. But awareness is not the only thing, no. I mean, you have to let's put the point. Let's make a point, no, about awareness. Yes, while generally it's important in the top 10, this is probably the reason. But awareness is not everything. Look at a candidate like Marcoleta, Congressman Marcoleta. He has 57% awareness in OCTA, and he's around 8%. Where compare that with Pastor Kibuloy, who has 85% awareness and only 3% preference. So just because you're aware, people are aware of you, doesn't mean that they prefer you. So it's not automatic. So it has to do with performance. It has to do with the image, the message, no. Pastor Kibuloy is 85% awareness, but only 3% prefer him. So it's not automatic na mataas ang awareness mo, mataas yung. So it's a confluence of so many other factors aside from awareness. Performance is, I think, important, and you'll see that also with those in the top 12. No, these are people who have a track record and also well known. And by the way, they're also spending a lot of money. No, I think to a great extent. When you look at the ads for candidates like Binay and Villar, even see Camille Villar started 3% in preference in OCTA in January. Look at her now. She's already knocking at the door. She's basically in. No? And if she continues her campaign the way it is, massive information drive and awareness raising, she's probably going to get in because the Villar is also a particular brand. And it's not very far away from the experience of her brother. Last election, who was out of the top 12 for most of the year until they started talking about his accomplishments as DPWH secretary and building a campaign of it. So, it's a confluence of awareness. Popularity is very important, definitely. But it's not an automatic formula to get into the top 12.
In the past, Prof, yung sinasabi nila, yung top 4, parang halos sigurado ng mananalo. Does that still hold water sa panahon nga ng social media, sa panahon ng disruption, na overnight pwedeng magbago yung fortunes mo?
Yes, I think if there's anything that we learned from 2022 elections, Rafi Tulfo was for one whole year number 1. When he was junked by apparently junked by some religious group, he moved 3 or 4 places down. So it could actually happen.
Yes,
and imagine the situation now.
Pero Prof, si Tulfo kasi di ba si Tulfo was independent, hindi siya kasama sa administration na dala-dala si Robin Padilla at hindi rin siya kasama dun sa ibang major political parties. Kaya pag simula na ng campaign, kahit papano, yung machinery will take its toll. Diba? At panahon na yan.
But the thing is, sir, yung problema, paano kung ginank ka? And junking is likely going to happen in this particular. I'm taking my hat off as OCTA because of how polarized the campaign and the political situation is. And that will affect these numbers. Even if you're in the top 4, you're not certain if you don't have the machinery and you don't have access to certain groups. It's very possible na bababa yung malalagay sa alanganin yung pwesto mo at the moment. So medyo fluid pa para sa akin kasi nakita ko na yung experience eh. And OCTA, by the way, got from 1 to 15 correctly in the last survey. So we're pretty good at doing this ourselves. No? And we were kind of surprised at the changes last minute in 2022 as far as the senatorial elections were concerned. Robin Padilla was not in our radar to be number 1. But he did. And certain things happened kasi. So magbabago pa ito. Pero medyo nagsusolidify yung mga tulfo sa taas eh. Tumaas pa actually in my if I'm correct based on Professor Guido's assessment, tumaas pa ng konti si Erwin Tulfo. May konting separation na sila with Ben, but they look certain if these are the survey numbers, if the elections were held during the survey period, certain na mananalo sila.
Pero going back to my question, Prof, yung top 4 ba may chance pa na matalo?
Ay, hindi naman matatalo. May chance na magbago yung rankings nila. Yun ang ibig sabihin. Yung top 6, sir, mukhang if they continue to get these numbers. Kasi ang cutoff namin sa OCTA is between 28 to 32% eh. So, yun ho yung nakikita namin na cutoff namin for now to get into the top 10. Top 12, I'm sorry. Yeah. So yun yung namin, if you can sustain that over a period of time. Some of them sa top 5 have been sustaining this for more than a year now, sir. So medyo halos sigurado yung ranking lang baka magbago.
Sir, if you don't mind, can you keep your hat off muna and say muna sa political scientist. You mentioned kanina kasi the possibility of junking, especially with the polarized situation right now. Dito sa listang ito, who do you think are the likely candidates to be junked? Hats off.
It's now the fight is now between the Duterte camp and the Marcos camp. And they have different alliances and support bases. So we don't know how it will play out, no? But certainly, there's a high possibility of this happening. Given all the dynamics we're observing today, no? Some groups aligned with the Duterte side have been saying that, we're not going to support. Okay? If you don't follow us, we're not going to support. So ito yung nangyayari. And given that there's always the speculation that it might actually happen come election day, May next year. And what I'm saying is that has an impact. No? So, of course, the everyday voter is the most powerful change agent here. If we educate voters, they can make a difference in the next election. And the more we educate, the more likely they will vote, competent, at the very least, progressive, sana, candidates into the Senate.
Ang kaibahan nitong
Professor,
election...
ang bababa nga ng mga progressive eh. And in fact, pati yung tinatawag natin traditional opposition, medyo nanganganib sila dyan, How do you explain that as a political scientist? How do you explain this?
Because nobody actually understands what progressive is siguro. Maybe all of
Yes,
all of
yung
them
traditional opposition. Like Bamakino, for example.
I'll talk about progressive, maybe the left, no? The Colmenares, those are the progressives.
Yes.
They're not coming in, no? And to a great extent, siguro, people are not aware. People, do not prefer them because they're not. They don't know what these people stand for or what good they have done so far. So yan yung but yun na sila Bamakino. They're part of the traditional elite. They're I don't know, well, compared to the others, they may be a little more progressive. But kasi this is a very competitive election, this midterm. I don't know the long view kay Sec, sa inyo. You guys are, have lived here longer and have seen things over the past. My impression is that this is a very, very competitive, particularly midterm election. The chances of the administration winning are very high, but winning big, that's still a question. Meaning over 8 candidates in the slate might it's a big question kung mananalo more than 8 sa administration. So it's highly competitive, and I think the competition is, as you can see in the OCTA survey, 10, 11, 12 is going to be tough, no? And when you look at those at the laylayan, in the words of Lenny, they're really strong political families. Camille Villar, we don't expect her to be there very long, no? Abigail Binay, we expect her to go up also in our survey. So that leaves so-called progressives like Kiko Pangilinan really in a quandary, you know. They have to work double time. But the good thing about this is that this is a baseline, and that next year pa naman yung campaign, and there's still a lot of time to change perceptions, no, and gain more support as far as these candidates are. It's not over. This is just the first survey as far as we're concerned.
Yes. Pero Prof, ito yung pinaka-ibang election na nakita ko dahil sobrang polarized ito dahil meron kang impeachment na nakaamba. Meron kang ICC na nakaamba.
And that's gonna change everything, sir.
Meron kang ICC na nakaamba. Meron kang possible criminal cases na nakaamba. No? At ito yung isa sa pinakamaraming re-electionists at saka mga babalik ng mga senators na maglalaban-laban. Kaya ito yung isa sa pinakamasikip na eleksyon na nakita ko so far, no? At si Bam at saka si Kiko ay galing sa pagkatalo. Si Bam ay halos 6 years wala sa posisyon, si Kiko ay almost 3 years. So yun yung sigurong negative sa kanila, no? Unless malampasan nila 'yan, no? Pero yung mga
may chances, sir, let me clarify. May chances si Senator Bam Aquino, not all is gone. Look at the
of course. Sinasabi ko lang Prof, kung bakit sila wala doon sa 12 at this point. Dahil nanggaling sila sa pagkatalo na medyo matagal. Pero yung kung ko lang Prof, sa ganitong klaseng naiibang eleksyon, yung mga katulad ni Aimee na namamangka sa dalawang ilog, no, votes, yan ba ay kaya niyang i-sustain dahil nga very polarized no? Yung mga hindi boboto sa kabila ay hindi naman boboto sa kabila, no? Dahil nga polarized yung eleksyon nito, no? Kaya nakikita, halimbawa sa inyo, siya ay posibleng number 10, sa Pulse number 12. So, isa siya sa mga casualties, possible casualties
Yeah. That's very true, you know. I mean, she has to define her politics even more. But in OCTA, she's improved a lot, no? From, I think she was 11, 12 last time. So now she's improved a little bit. But yun nga, she's vulnerable because of the politics she's playing. And she might just get, you know, she might have challenges on both sides. So yun nga, but let's see, no? The campaign is about to start, and let's see how that's gonna roll out, no? And pan out, no? Kasi iba-iba ho yung style ng kampanya at yung machinery na ginagamit. Kaya nga nasabi niyo, Sec, malaking bagay ho yung machinery, and the administration will always have that advantage. If the Dutertes are the opposition now, no? Or at least one big segment of the so-called opposition to the administration, they have 3 here in this list that are competitive, no? That's Bongo, Bato de la Rosa, and Willie Revillame. So, and Willie Revillame just came out of nowhere as far as we're concerned, no? I mean, he got himself as a candidate, no? In October, biglang ang taas ng rating niya. Halos, you know, we don't see. I personally, haven't seen any ads, no? But this is very high for us, and we've been tracking him, but this is a big jump from where he was the past year. So he's a candidate to watch. He's one of the big stories here, together with you know, Abigail Binay, Villar. Yeah, these are the, and of course the big stories like Bato de la Rosa going down as far as the actual percentage voting for and his ranking are concerned.
Okay. Maraming salamat, Professor Ranjit Rye, ang Pangulo ng OCTA Research. Thank you, sir, for joining us this afternoon.
Salamat, Prof, at Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas po.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas,
Happy holiday.
Professor.
Thank you. Bye.